Welcome back. Today we are unlocking one of the most powerful ideas in algebra, system of equations, graphing. Because in math, every problem is a story. And the moment two lines cross, that's where the answer lies. We'll break it down into three simple cases. One solution when the lines intersect, no solution where the lines run parallel forever, infinitely many solutions when the lines are actually the same. And this isn't just a theory. We'll look at real-world examples, tickets, phone plans, and more, so you can see how intersections become the solution. So grab a pen, get your graph ready, and let's master the simplest way to solve a system of equations. Clear visuals, quick steps, and zero confusion. Let's jump in. And right now it leads to the third part. It means that I do have two lines that they are going to have infinite number of intersections. What does that mean? It means that you are going to university, but you will call your friend, and after that you would come over here and you both are going to the university together. It means that you are going to be the same or moving side by side by each other all the time from point A to point B. How I can understand it? That is simple. First of all, I know for a fact that those two lines that are going to have infinite number of intersections should be parallel, right? So M should be the same. In the meantime, the B or starting point should be the same as well. So when you have two lines that their M and B's are the same, you know for a fact that both of them has infinite numbers. But sometimes, as I told you, not all the equations are going to be as simple as that. Y is mx plus b. So I have to simplify that, or I have to make it like that. For instance, at this point, you see that 2x plus y is equals to 6, 4x plus 2y is equals to 12. If you just look at it in a very shallow condition, you see that they do have the different m's, so it means that they're going to have an intersection, right? Wrong. First of all, you have to make it like that, mx plus b, and after that decide to what would happen to your condition. So let's look at this. 2x plus y is equals to 6. If I'm going to make that one like this, how I can do that? Subtract 2x from both sides because I want to isolate my y. So at the end, I do have y is equals 6 subtracted by 2x. My m is negative 2 and my b is 6 itself. Simple. Let's do the same thing with the next one. So I do have 4x plus 2y is equals 12. At first, subtract both sides by 4x. I do have 2y is equals 12 subtracted by 4x. And right now, I need my y to be 1y. The coefficient should be y. So it should be 1. So I have to divide both sides by 2. If I do that, y is equals to 6 subtracted by 2x. As you can see over here, this equation are completely similar. So it means that both of those lines are going to have infinite number of intersection itself. So another way of understanding that how we can find that the specific point, one way was just using equation, right? That 99.99% of the time I prefer to do that. But at some points, maybe they would ask you, prove it on the coordinate plane. Try to draw that. So what we should draw both of those lines. And based on that, make sure that how many number of intersections they do have. So right now we do have 5 simple steps to do that one. And let's go over that. So the very first thing that whenever you're trying to draw a line, it would be better to find the slope itself. It means that as soon as you write it down like this, you would have the m itself. So m is your slope. For a fact, it is positive, it is negative, or even it's 0. So you do have this one. After that, it would be better to find your starting point, which is the y intersection. So it is the 0 and b. If you guys remember, I told you from the previous chapter that put the 0 over here, and you have this this term as 0, and your y equals to b itself. So you have this point. After that, use the slope itself, rise over run. So most of the time, I'm telling my students it would be better to consider run as 1, and whatever rise that you have, which is going to be your y steps. And after that, draw the line with arrows, label them clearly, and at the end, do the same thing for the next line and find that kind of specific point. I know it's going to be a little bit painful, but this is a question. So they are going to test your knowledge based on your graphing, not only just solving equations. So it is common. So there are some kind of tips. Try to count rise over run very carefully, and also please watch the signs itself. I saw so many students that they just forget about the signs and everything just collapse. So negative slopes means that they're going down, not up. Be careful. Negative slope means something like this, and a positive slope means something like that. Beware of by one counting errors. Please be careful. And after that, try to keep your axis scales by uniform, and at the end, try to color coded them, because we are not going to be confused by two same colors itself. So at this point, we do have another question. So I do have y is equals x plus 1 and y is equals negative x plus 5. So how we can do the drawing itself? Simple. I told you, first of all, try to find m is 1, and for this one, m is equals negative 1. So I know for a fact that y does have only 1 as a coefficient, at this point the same. So there is only going to be one and only one solution for intersection. How I know that? Because m is 1 and m is negative 1 for both of these ones, so it's not the same. How I can draw that? Again, find the beginning of the point, which at this point is going to be what? For example, I'm trying to make it very simple. So at this point is 0 and 1 itself. So m is 1, it means that if I move 1 to the right, I have to move 1 to the top. So this is going to be my first line itself. On another hand, I do have y is equals negative x plus 5. So I know for a fact that the starting point, for example, would be over here, and y is negative 1. It means that 1 to the right, 1 to the bottom. So it's going to be something like this. And based on that, if you just do the drawing, you can find this specific point as intersection. Again, please try to double check your answers. It means that it's not only going to be sufficient enough to find it. Put the x inside both of those equations and you should have the same y itself. So let's try to apply this fact into real world problem, because I told you it's not going to be enough only to know the equations, to know the graphing. That is fine. But what would happen to the real world? Because as future engineers, or as the people who knows mathematics in the future, they are going to expect us to solve something, right? So I have to know how I can use it. Let's look at this example. I'm not going to say that it is simple, but it's not that kind of challenging. Imagine that I do have, this is some kind of story. The adult tickets is going to cost $12. Student tickets is going to cost $8. And on one day, I know my total revenue is going to be $200 from 20 tickets. So I know two things. I know for a fact that, for example, this is for adults, this is for adults, this is for children. I know I sold 20 tickets. So A plus S is going to be 20. And I know for a fact that each of those adults ticket is going to be $12, so 12A, and each of those children is $8, so I do have $200 of revenue. So the question is simple. The question asks, how many adults tickets did I sell, and how many children tickets did I sell? So at this point, again, I do have 2 points. A plus S is equals 20, and 12A plus 8S is equals 200. Still, I do have 2 lines. I have to find some kind of that specific intersection, right? So there are a couple of things happening over here that maybe you're not familiar. The very first thing is that where is Y, where is X? As I told you, Y and X are going to be considered as just variables. You're not going to have them all the time. Those variables are changeable. Those variables are there to tell you that at this specific moment, you don't know what is Y, what is X. It also can be changed. For example, instead of Y, you have S. Instead of X, you have A, right? So how I can find out what is what? And another important question is, you have 2 equations right now. Unlike the last one, I had only, for example, y1 and y and x, y is equals mx plus b. It was simple, right? We do have the same scenario over here. Yes, it's going to be a little bit ugly right now because for some of you, you don't know what is y, what is x. Let's imagine, let's assume something that at this point, children tickets is going to be considered as y and adult tickets is going to be considered as b. As is going to be as x itself. So let's solve it based on that. Y is equals mx plus b. At this point, s is equals ma plus b. Let's find that. So what do I have over here? I do have a plus s is equals to b 20. So I'm going to write it down as y is mx plus b, or at this point, s is ma plus b itself. So first line, a plus s is equals 20. So how I can have that? Subtract both sides by a. So if I do that one, I do have s is equals 20 subtracted by a itself. Simple. At another point, I do have 12a plus 8s is equals 200. So it's going to be two-step equations. If you guys remember from previous modules, if you don't know about that, you can just go over previous videos and completely understand what is going on. So first of all, I have to make my s as isolated, right? So to subtract both sides by 12a itself. So I do have 8s is equals 200 subtracted by 12a. In the meantime, I have to make my some kind of s with the coefficients of 1. It means that divide both sides by 8 itself. What would happen? S equals 200 divided by 8 is going to be 25. 12a divided by 8 is going to be 1.5, and I have to make sure that I consider this negative over here. So right now I know for a fact that the second line equation is going to be 25 subtracted by 1.5a itself. So right now I do have two m's. One is negative 1.5 and another one is negative 1. So I know for sure that I'm going to have intersection. It means that there's one specific point that I can find the number itself. What should I do after that? Simple. 20 subtracted by 8 equals 25 subtracted by 1.5a. So I have to keep the a as a isolated. So I can do like this. Add both sides by a. This line is going to cancel out this one. 20 is equals 25 subtracted by half a. After that, I have to make sure that this number is going to move over here. Subtract both sides by 25. So what do I have? I do have negative 5 equals 0 subtracted by half a. So I have to divide both sides by negative half. If I do that one, my a is going to be 10 itself. Be careful about negative and negative. Negative divided by negative is positive, just like negative times negative is positive itself. So I know for a fact that the adult tickets or the number of adult tickets that I sold is 10. So if I do have that one, I can easily find the s itself. I can just put this 10 into one of those equations, and I know for sure that both of them are right, but again, try to double check that. So I'm going to put a in one of those equations and find the s itself. So a was 10 at this point. If I put 10 over here, what is the number that if you add it up with 10 is going to be 20? Exactly, that number is going to be 10 itself. So for a fact, I know that at the end, if I sell 10 adult tickets and 10 children tickets, I do have the revenue of 200, and at the end I sold 20 tickets itself. So for some of you, if you don't get it right now for the first time, that is completely normal. Try to pause the video, and before just finding the solution itself, try to solve it by yourself. After that, rewatch this part, rewatch this section over and over again to make sure that you completely understand. Because if you understand the first couple of questions, you in fact that for future parts, you also can solve them without any sweat. So let's look at some kind of famous question. It's going to be about the phone plans. As I told you, phone plans, most of the time it's just like this. You are going to pay a constant amount of money at the beginning or at the registration fee, and after that, based on usage, that each per gigabyte or per some kind of minutes or hours of using your phone, you have to pay more and more. So at this point, I do have two phone plans, and I would like to see that are they going to intercept each other, or are they going after some time are going to be the same or not? And after that, try to consider their condition. What would happen if I do have that one for less of time or for more that time? Because I want to see that which one of these two are more economical. So let's C is equals 30 plus half M. It means that $30 is going to be my constant cost or the beginning cost, and after that I base on, for instance, each usage I have to pay 10 cents. After that I do have $15 for the second one, and I have to pay 25 cents per each usage. So right now I know there are two M's, or there are two lines actually, and they are not the same. So since they're not the same, I know that there is intersection over here. How I can find it? Simple. I make these two is the same as each other, just like the way that we did. Try to make our M isolated and try to make your number isolated on the other side. So you have something like this, and after that you found out that M is 100 minutes is going to be your X part, or at this point you see that Y is C and X is C. As I told you, not X is M. As I told you, not all the time your value or your variables are going to be X and Y. Sometimes they're going to be different. So at M is equals 100 minutes, I know those C's, for example, C1 and C2 are going to be the same. So this is the part, and I can find at 100 minutes, both of them has $40. But sometimes maybe the question is going to be a little bit further and ask for your thoughts about the condition. For example, say that, try to interpret that, what does actually mean? So at this point, we can talk about this one. 200 minutes plan 2 is cheaper. How I can understand it, either you can use the table, as I told you from the previous section, you can just give it some x value or some m values at this condition and find some y's, and you can see that at one point the numbers for C1 is going to be bigger than or smaller than the C2 itself. So at this point we know that below 100 minutes plan 2 is cheaper, above 100 minutes plan A is cheaper, and exactly at 100 minutes both of them are going to be $40. It is going to be very, very useful for some of you that you see different kind of plans into your real world and try to compare them, that which one is better based on your need. For example, someone would say that I'm not going to use my phone more than 100 minutes. So it's a little bit weird, but I'm just saying. So you would say that, okay, one is better for you, but another one say that, no, I'm going to use it a lot, so the next one is going to be better for you. Maybe at some point you say that, oh my god, this is going to be costly at the beginning. Yes, but in the long run, it's going to be more economical for you itself.